What's up guys, Marco here and welcome to this new video here on the channel, your road to $1,000 a day on Google Shopping. Well, I missed the Google here, but you know what I'm talking about. So $1,000 a day on Google Shopping, and lately my videos have been a little more strategic, right? They have been like general stuff about smart shopping, general stuff about how to be more successful with Google and all these kind of things. Today I want to present you a more step-by-step type of framework. Again, I know I made a couple of videos in like how to get to 10K, 20K and stuff like that on this channel already. But what I'm doing right here in today's video is basically I took the whole super in-depth framework from my course, the eCom PPC Academy, and I tried to like rewrap it into a very simplified, very easy and quick version of it, right? So of course, without all the details, it's like 100 times more detail on there with every single step explained with examples and how to really do it in your business. Here, what I want to give you is like a general roadmap, a general idea of how you can move to that place with Google Shopping specifically. So first of all, and guys, this is really important. I'm not showing you all about like only how to create like the ad and all that kind of stuff, because it starts very simple. And I talk about that all the time, but so many people still miss it out. Analytics. Okay, so before you start your first campaign on Google Shopping, make sure that you have analytics in place, make sure that you have e-commerce tracking turned on, make sure that you link it to Google Ads, and make sure that you check the acquisition report frequently so that you learn how much time people spend on your site and how many add to carts you get and all that kind of stuff. So make sure that you get as much data from day one, so make sure that Google Analytics is installed properly. The second thing, and I talk about this all the time as well, is Hotjar. So yes, we get to the Google Ads part, Google Shopping part in a second, but install Hotjar so that you can get visitor recordings from day one. So Hotjar is a free tool that you can use to check what your visitors are doing. You can ask them questions. You can tell them like, hey, what didn't you like about the store? Why didn't you purchase? But you can also do recordings so that you see and learn why they are maybe not buying. So where are they leaving? You know, are they checking your whole product page or not? Really, really important insights. And the reason I put this here, even though I repeated it several times on this channel already, is because it's important that you do this as early as possible and not just like somewhere after you get like 500 clicks or 1,000 clicks already. The earlier that you do that, the more money you will spend. And now we get to number 3, and this is your testing campaign, okay? So what I see, these are the common issues that I see, or the common mistakes that I see people make when they start with shopping. Number 1, they start with 1,000 products or something like that. Number 2, they just start with like 3 products or something like that. Number 3, they start with smart shopping, right? And number 4, they start with like really, really cheap products and they try to make it work somehow. You know, what I always teach people, especially in the training where we have like templates and all that stuff to calculate these things, you really have to look at your numbers and see whether they can actually make sense in the first place, right? So if you, for example, sell a $10 product or $12 product, it's almost impossible to be profitable with it. And this is something people don't really think about, but if you do the math and if you like calculate with a 2% conversion rate or something like that, you will realize that it's almost impossible to make profitable sales with that. So in your first testing campaign, what you should do is no smart, so basically a normal campaign. You should test between 20 and 50 products in this first campaign. Now this always changes. I change my mind regularly here, but it always stays roughly the same. So I never go way below that or way above that, as long as you don't have like a really high budget. The next point is no cheap products, like cheap meaning less than $20 in this case. So cheap, of course, if you have like an enormously powerful funnel or something like that in place, then you can try that. But for most people, cheap is really, really difficult. So no smart shopping, you start with normal, 20 to 50 products, no cheap products in this campaign, and make sure that you are eliminating losers early. And a loser in this case can be a product that spends, for example, let's say 100 clicks without a sale, that spends like 20 to 30 clicks without add to cart, or a product that consistently, and now you cannot really make it accurate, that consistently gets less than 30 seconds of session duration, basically. Now I'm trying to simplify this here. As I said, I cannot go into the background of it, so I can only come up with some like somewhat realistic number here. This doesn't mean that if you have like 20 or 30 clicks without an add to cart that you always have to eliminate it if the other metrics look good. Like if it consistently gets 3-minute session durations, chances are that an add to cart and eventually also a sale is just right around the corner. But the problem is that in this simplified video right here, I of course have to make some simplifications and assumptions here. So this is why I give you these specific numbers that without a background to them. But if you want to have some numbers, then these tend to make a lot of sense. The next step then is isolation, okay? And isolation is so important because here you're trying to get more sales and more and higher numbers from the products that you tested before. So in the testing campaign, you're just doing all kind of stuff. You're throwing all the ones in that seem that seem to have potential for you. In the isolation campaign now, you increase the first of all, we have to define that here the priority is low, and in the isolation campaign you put the priority, I can't even type today, priority medium. So in the priority medium campaign, why do we put it onto medium? Because we want these products to show up more often than the testing products, right? So let's say one of the products in the testing campaign gets, for example, 3 sales. 3 sales is not really random. So if a product gets 1 sale, okay, it was maybe just random. 2 sales, maybe 2, but 3 sales, you're onto something most likely. So in this case, you put it into this one here, put promising products in here, 3 sales plus. Again, guys, if it's a really cheap product, probably 3 sales doesn't mean much, but if it's a high ticket product, for example, you may even go with the first or the second sale already. I use 3 sales as a general orientation so that I'm not always moving products all the time, which also kind of hurts your optimization if you do that like 10 times a day or something like that. So put promising products in here and set a daily budget of $10 to $20 plus. So you can increase that if it really made some profitable sales so far, and if you have the budget, of course you can also go with like 50. But in general, I recommend that you stick to like $10 to $20 a day until it proves itself in this isolation campaign again. The point is that what happens now is because you have the priority set to medium, you will start getting more traffic to this campaign, and only if that campaign cannot deliver any more traffic for this specific product that you have in there, then it will go to the testing campaign again and try with the product in the testing campaign. So the product that is in the medium campaign right now will be tested in the low priority campaign if the medium one runs out of budget, for example. So this is how you isolate, right? And again, there are so many details to that, but I want to keep it to the point, and we are already filming 8 minutes right here. That's quite a lot. So the next step is growth. And something that I have to mention here in the isolation phase is that here you can actually still have multiple products, okay? So in the isolation phase, it's not said that you just have one single product. You can have a campaign that's called isolation campaign with, for example, 10 products in there, all of them having potential. But in the growth phase or scaling phase, you put the priority to high, and here is where you put individual products. So products that are doing great, that really showed potential because in the isolation campaign they continued to deliver, they continued to make sales and profitable sales. You put them into this growth campaign. And why do you put it into its separate campaign? Well, because now you can set new bidding strategies. This is one thing. You can set new bidding strategies for that. So far you may only have used like enhanced CPC. Now you can go to the growth phase and you can test, for example, target ROAS. Now within one campaign, of course, you can only have one single bidding strategy, and this is why it's so important that if a product really shows a lot of potential, a lot of sales, that you put it into its own campaign and not just its own ad group or something, because now you can also change the bidding strategy for that product. Now, if you want to learn how to like pick the best bidding strategy and learn about every single bidding strategy on Google Ads and when to use which bidding strategy for most sales, make sure that you check the training in the description too. But for now, just know that you do it so that you can actually change the bidding strategy later on if you really have to. So this is the growth phase in a nutshell. You put it into its own campaign, into its not only like with other products eventually, but really just one product so that you have full control over the bidding strategies. Of course, things like negative keywords and stuff and things of that nature will be applied here too, even though you can technically add them to the isolation campaign already, because negative keywords can be applied on the ad group level, okay? So they can be applied on the ad group level. That's why you don't need the single product growth phase campaign to add them. But of course, they become more powerful if you start to like research more, if you start to put more work into finding them. And this makes the most sense if you're in the growth phase, because then it's justified that you spend like, I don't know, 15 minutes a day, 10 minutes a day doing this type of research, right? So this is how you go from analytics to Hotjar to testing, then to isolation, and then to growth. Now in the growth, of course, sky's the limit in terms of daily budget. I absolutely recommend to spend at least like $50 plus if you if the search volume allows it. So obviously if there aren't that many searches for your product and you reach your daily limit, then this doesn't make sense. But as long as you didn't, and as long as you try to scale, as long as you're spending your daily budget, you should increase that as long as it's profitable, of course. And usually I start this growth campaign phase with $50 and then go from there. So this is basically how you go through these different stages, from testing to isolation to growth. As I said, testing a lot of products in one campaign. Isolation can be one product campaign, but it also is recommended to have multiple potential products in there. And then in the growth phase, you really put products to an individual campaign with a high priority with individual products, so only one product per campaign. You can set new bidding strategies on the campaign level. You can add more negative keywords than before, and I recommend that your spend is at least $50 a day. Now, if you do the math and if you have like 3 of these growth campaigns, and let's say you have 3 times $50 spent, which means you spent $150 a day. If you have a good ROAS in a growth campaign with high profits, it's not uncommon to have a ROAS of like 5x, right? So $150 at 5x ROAS is already $750 in sales. And then, of course, you still have your other testing and isolation campaigns. So I know that, $150 at 5x ROAS is easier said than done. But trust me, it has been done like hundreds of times by me, my clients, and my students. And this is something that if you stick to this framework, sooner or later you will stumble upon a winner that fits into this classification. And if you then do the homework, like negative keywords, if you work on your page and use tools like analytics and Hotjar to make sure that you're not missing out on all the like information that people actually give you, then I promise that you will be able to sooner or later actually find a winner, whether it produces $1,000 a day or just 500 or 300. That's a different story, but I can definitely say that you will be able to find profitable products sooner or later using this very, very broad framework. Now, I hope that you enjoyed this video. If you did, please leave a like below, and please let me know in the comments where you are currently at with your shopping campaign. So what is the maximum daily sales that you have generated so far? Are you currently stuck at 100 or 1,000 or 10,000, right? Let me know in the comments, and please subscribe if you want to see more Google Ads and e-commerce content on this channel. If you want to master every single step of that framework, basically, if you want to get the details of how to start those different campaigns, if you want to get the details on research the negative keywords, how to choose the products that you should test in the first place, how to work with all the bidding strategies, you name it, ton of stuff to dive into. If you want to do and learn all these things in a very like-minded community, make sure to check out the eCom PPC Academy in the description. Would be amazing to welcome you on there. And I'm pretty sure that the stuff you will find in those like 17 or 18 hours of purely valuable content will help you transform your business to the absolute next level. So thanks for watching, guys. I really appreciate it. I hope that I will see you in the next video as well. And now, well, I wish you all the best with your business and hope that I will see you in the next one. Bye-bye.